idiot. All right, guys, so sometimes I just get wrapped up and start doing things and I forget about the camera, turn on the music, go to town, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I should really be filming this. So, this blown engine project here has turned into more of a project. I've discovered, so I work up in the mountains. I drive up the mountain quite a ways, and the last week it's been super icy, and this thing has sucked. I even went through and we put on these the Bridgestone Blizzaks, whatever the heck these are, supposedly the #1 rated tire for ice and snow, and I was still sliding all over the place. So at one point I decided to, I found a nice incline and I hit the gas, and the only thing spinning was the rear tires. And this has the 4 all-time driveline in it. So I put it in 4 low, and I can get the tires to spin, but not in 4 all-time. So in 4 all-time, I had my wife come out here and help me, and we picked up the Jeep and had her start it and put it in drive. Front drive shaft spins, but nothing up front. It doesn't matter what you can do. We can put the e-brake in the back. The front never engages. The drive shaft does, but not the actual axles. So I'm thinking maybe it's something in the differential. I don't know. Maybe it's a transfer case issue, but I have a hard time seeing that. Seems as how the drive shaft spins. So, well, I just took the cover off of the differential. And that's really as far as I've gotten. Dripping snow and water everywhere as it defrosts itself. But somebody else has had this diff cover off. Very obviously, they put on a crap ton of RTV. They thought RTV was going to save their lives. But anyway, I just figured I'd show you guys what I find as I find it. So if I spin, I forgot to leave the stupid transfer case in neutral. Let me go drop this down, put the transfer case in neutral, and then we'll see what happens. But right now, so I can spin the passenger tire front, the CV axle spins, but nothing in here, which I don't know that it should. So we do have some gears moving in there. It's a little stiff. If we switch to this side, physically, it's super hard to spin. And nothing spins in the differential when I turn that. So to clarify, turning this tire spins nothing in here. Turning the passenger side does spin the spider gears for what it's worth. Turning the drive shaft spins nothing. I'm going to verify that right now. Let me go put this in neutral. Alright, so with the transfer case in neutral, I'll go under here. I can spin this drive shaft, right? That's the front. And when I spin the front, the rear drive shaft spins, as do the tires. Oh, sorry, one-handed kind of hard. But the fronts do not go. And let me clarify. So when I had when we had this running in drive, we did apply the e-brake so that the rears would lock up to see if it would send power up front, which it never did. So I don't know. I'm not a differential guy. I do have a spare Jeep. Should I just replace the whole axle and hope for the best? Should I actually pull the internals out? I don't know what I'm looking at. I really don't. So, all right. So a little more investigating. I may have found the problem. So if you look, I'll probably have to draw pictures on the screen, but inside that spider gear on the left right there is the axle shaft for this axle on the passenger side. And if you remember, when I spin this tire, that axle shaft spins. When I spin this tire, nothing in here spins, but if you look closely, there's no stub axle in there. And just for kicks and giggles, I can't stick my finger up there, but I stuck a little wire in there, and it feels like the axle shaft stops right about here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this axle shaft out. This is brand new, I just put it in. I've gone to work once with it. And I wanna pull that out, measure it, and then I'm gonna go to the auto parts store and see if I can get a new one and see if it's a little bit longer and sticks through. That might actually solve the problem. I don't know that, but I got a hunch that if the transfer case sends power to the tire of least resistance, and the front drive shaft is spinning, but there's no axle shaft inside that spider gear, maybe that tire's getting all the power and that's why it's not spinning, and that's why I don't have four-wheel drive. That might be the case. Let me go to the store, or actually I'm gonna pull this one out, and I wanna go to the store and get another one, or I have the spare out here. So maybe I'll throw that in and then, well, actually if I'm pulling it out, I might as well go to the store. So let me do that and I'll get back to you. All right guys, I think I got it figured out. So I think I was right with the CV axle being too short. So if I shove it in as far as I physically can, pretty much we're catching on this boot now, I can't go in any further. We are still not protruding out of the spider gear. But it is catching the gears just a little bit. And now if I spin this drive shaft, this bad boy spins. So, oh, see, spinning drive shaft and it spins. So that tells me that legitimately the stub shaft is too short. How that happens, I don't know. Are there multiple options? I don't know. Maybe they grabbed the wrong part at the parts store for me. Either way, I'm gonna pull this back out. I'm gonna get a physical measurement of how long it is, because then I'll know how long I need, or it needs to be longer. And I'm gonna go hit some parts stores till I can find one that is correct. And then we'll be returning this one if all that works out. So let me pull this back out. I can't do it with the camera because some idiot used a crap ton of anti-seize. Idiot. And it's messy as heck. So yeah, let me pull that out. I'm gonna get a measurement and I'm gonna run to some parts stores and see if I can't get this figured out and taken care of so that this is not, you know, two-wheel drive and making a bunch of noise when I drive. Because what was happening is, I'm guessing that stub shaft was just flying all over the place when I was driving, which was all the knocking noise. So I think this is gonna solve some problems, guys. Yeah, I'll be back. All right, so I just got back from the store. Oh, they did let me exchange it for the right one, mainly because, well, they just let me, so, which is good. I want to get on this soaked floor, and we're going to push this in. Supposedly this is the right one. I'm going to slide it in here. Try not to get any CZ from before. Oh. And in she goes. So now the key will be to see. All right, so this one, it's all wet. Let me spin this around. All right, so this one, as you can see, I think you can see, actually sticks out into the spider gears. Oh, and now when I turn, it turns. Probably can't see that, can you? What I'm concerned about now is all the dirt on there for one, but two, as you can see, it's hitting this thing right here, this post. So once we put, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the hub on and everything right now. And once we get the hub on, this might pull forward a little bit. We're gonna verify that here in a minute. I'm gonna wait to do anything there until I know, because I feel like that's in too far now, which is fantastic. So either one, I can't win, or two, this is gonna snug up with the hub in a minute. We're gonna find out right now. I'll be back. All right, so it did in fact, when I sucked in the threads on the hub, it did pull back away from there. So we are clearing now. And now when I spin the drive shaft, oh, it's just very stiff. The front tire spins as well. So problem solved. What I'm gonna do now is clean up this diff cover, put it back on with some new RTV. I'm using actual diff RTV. And then as long as I'm doing the front, I'm gonna go ahead and move to the back and do that one as well. Maybe I'll do the transfer case, I don't know. Either way, point of this video is four-wheel drive is fixed on this Jeep. So I'm happy about that, excited about that, because I was honestly disappointed thinking it was a transfer case and then thinking it was something in the axle, which I was, but it was an easy fix in the axle. Anyhow, I'm gonna hang this up because there's water dripping all over my back because snow is still melting and ice is still melting. And yeah, Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. We'll check you next time.